So welcome, I'm Dave from House Bourbon, and this is the early summer update of exciting news and releases in the bourbon world. Stay tuned.
And now, in a desperate attempt to fill 24 hours of programming, here's some bullshit that happened somewhere today. We've got some footage here of the bullshit, which began just after 3 o'clock this afternoon, when residents in this neighborhood were shocked to see this fairly common thing happening.
So, what's coming up in the summer? Start of summer here, and a couple of big things coming up. Well, first, some big things for House Bourbon. My Jack Daniels pick has dropped at Clinton Liquor, so if you're in a rush, you can go get one of those. My members, I'll do a member-only video with all the details of the release of that, and then also once I get it, I'll make a review and post a video about it. It's a banger, man. It's like a banana caramel strawberry yumminess. Yeah, so can't wait to get that in your guys' hands. Should be a great one. Cool tater sticker too, so stay tuned to that. So let's start off with the fan favorite of Buffalo Trace. So one that I'm honestly pretty excited about, I've got to admit, is Eagle Rare 12. Buffalo Trace has put out that they will be releasing Eagle Rare 12 here, 95 proof, so bumped up a bit, 5.5 proof points and a couple of years. Say what you will about the actual availability of Eagle Rare 10. Some states it's very available, so I'm sure the 12 is not going to be that available on a national because everyone's going to be wanting to try it, but hopefully it will be somewhat available. A lot more available than a 17 or anything like that, and probably be pretty damn good. Like, some people don't like the Eagle Rare 10 year. I actually am a bit of a fan of it. It's not really a daily drink or anything for me. It's a little bit hard to get, I gotta admit, in Tennessee, but hey man, when it was like $35, I was adamant it was one of, if not the best bargain in whiskey. So hopefully this comes out, hopefully it's available. The MSRP is $50, so $49.99. So yeah, that could be a really good one. I really like the bottle. It's very similar to the Eagle Rare 10, but with a 12 on it and a nice gold top, so that would be classy.
Hey, fat face! You stay classy.
So I'm pretty excited to get to try that one. Hopefully we see that pretty soon here. It should be coming out any day, I hear, this month, but by the time it gets released, it should be December. So I also want to thank Coming Whiskey on Instagram. You need to follow this guy. He scours the TPB labels for all the new stuff. So if you ever want to know what's coming up in bourbon bottles, follow Coming Whiskey on Instagram. But the other one I want to talk about is Eagle Rare 30. Not much to talk about, except for what do you think it's going to cost? I'm thinking 15 to 20 grand. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if it wasn't, and it was like $500, you know? But it isn't going to be, because it's 30 years, it's Eagle Rare, it could be a complete oak bomb, it's got to be stored in their Warehouse X, I don't know. Interesting, different tax bracket level people. I don't even know anyone who knows anyone who has a 25, so 30 is just out there. Not exactly new news, but if you haven't heard already, Buffalo Trace is also bringing out a new BTAC. It's going to be E.H. Taylor, an E.H. Taylor BTAC. So haven't really heard much information about the age of this. The proof, it's bottled and bond, so it's going to be 100 proof. Now the funny thing is, this is Mashbill 1, so you've got Eagle Rare 17, which is 17 years or more, and that's at 101 proof. This one, you know, you'd hope it's probably not going to be as old as that, because it's 100 proof. So if they brought it out 17 year, what would the difference be, apart from, you know, taste profiles? But they can make Eagle Rare and E.H. Taylor taste very different in the small batch. But I thought, one is 4 or 5 years old, one is 10 years old, one is proof down, So anyway, very interested to see. Once again, it'll be interesting to see, is this like a release the size of Stag? Is this a release the size of, the Sazerac with numbers and availability? All very hard to get, don't get me wrong, sort of a lottery or a luck thing at the end of the year. So we'll see about that. So another thing, I suppose, what are we drinking here? So it's fantastic. So this leads me into the next big news. This is the Old Forester 117 Bottled and Bond Rye. And this is fantastic. And it really bodes well for the next piece of news from Old Forester, and that is the President's Choice Rye. Now, this was released at the Kentucky Derby, at the little shindig that Woodford has there. Actually met a person in line who knew a person who was in Brown-Forman, and they had these barrels. It was barrel 1. He had a photo of it, and he told me that they were dropping these at the distillery on Father's Day. So that seems to have panned out. So that's where I will be, let's call it Saturday morning, lining up to get a President's Choice. Now, so this is a double thing. There's that. They're also going to be releasing President's Choice Bourbon and Rye to distributors. It used to just be a distillery only, but now it's going to be released to certain stores. Probably still very, very limited. But they could drop a lot, right? They have dropped a lot of President's Choice Bourbon. I think they were up to barrel 30 for the past 4 or 5 years, 6, 7 years. Now they're up to barrel 110 in the last 18 months. Really stepped up their release, which is good and bad. Obviously, when you do that, quality is probably going to take a bit of a hit, and I feel like I've probably seen that on some of the later President's Choices, but way more available, right? So it's not $1,000 bottle anymore. You can acquire one. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Really interested to see the rye, and that's why I am choosing to camp or wait, I suppose, outside of Old Forester, and probably not Four Roses, which is the other Father's Day drop happening Saturday. They are dropping a single barrel, 15-year single barrel at their distillery in Lawrenceburg and Fox Creek Bottle Plant. So this will be an OBSF recipe, which honestly is not everybody's favorite. I actually know most people, but if anyone I know has a least favorite, this is that recipe. So a bit interesting there, but like I say, it's a 15-year bottle. Last year one was an absolute banger, but I'm going to hedge my bets and try Old Forester because I love Old Forester, and this rye is the 117 Bottled and Bond is fantastic. So a few more years age on it and a few higher proof, it's going to be good. Now the age of stepping back a bit, I suppose, the age of the Old Forester President's Choice Rye, 7 to 9 years are saying, and between like 110, 120 proof, so not super high, not super old, but I think it'd be really good. So the rye can sort of ages a little bit differently than bourbon, so it's going to be really interesting. So a very interesting one is a 1792 aged 15 years cask strength. Now 1792 is really known for their value bottles, and even at the 12-year, it's a fantastic bottle. So 15 years and cask strength, Barton, this could be a real good one at a really good price. So not much more information on when this might come out, just TBB once again from Cumming Whiskey, but pretty excited about this one. So a very controversial one is the Stitzel Weller Reserve. Now this is a very expensive bottle. It's a 1600 bottle, 23-year-old Stitzel Weller. Now the problem with that is Stitzel Weller stopped distilling in 92. So there is no way this possibly could be Stitzel Weller juice. And if you look at the bottle, there's nothing legally on there saying it is, but it very much implies that with the price tag, with everything else.
You sit on a throne of lies.
And it's a lot of money. Even if it was Stitzel Weller, like for that price, you might be able to pick up something that actually was Stitzel Weller, or at least it would get you and you'd be guaranteed of having Stitzel. So this is a little bit of a money grab. It's been on secondary markets where people have tried to get like even a lot more than that. Caused a lot of kickback, blowback, let's say. So this is an interesting one, not one I'm going to be looking for or chasing at that sort of price, and I don't expect, I wouldn't, it's just too expensive. Like $1,600, it's ridiculous. Now already released is the new Old Fit 7-year cheap shelfer type thing. Well, it's supposed to be when it gets to the shelf. I still haven't run across it yet. From all that I've heard, really great for the price. Definitely not like the Canter type level Old Fits, but nice bottle, nice stuff. So that's pretty interesting that people are starting to bring out some cheaper stuff. That and the Eagle 12, around the $50 mark, $50-$60 mark for pretty good whiskey. So less than 3 months to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, so starting to look forward to that. It'll be interesting to see what they have released this year. Heaven Hill has a new Parker's coming out that sounds very interesting. They also, very, very interesting, will be releasing a 19-year William Heaven Hill. Now, it's like, that is going to be good. I don't think it'll be released at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Normally, the William Heaven Hills come out towards the end of the year, and they span through to the start of the year. But the Parker's will be released, and the Parker's is a blended whiskey, which does sound quite interesting. So it is going to be a American whiskey at about, it says 122.5 proof, aged 11 years. But that is the youngest barrel, of course, so it's going to be a 15-year-old wheated bourbon, an 11-year-old corn whiskey, a 12-year-old whiskey made from 2 grains, rye and malt. So basically, they distilled all those new makes, put them in barrels separately, and blended them together at the end, which is more the way blended Scotch or a Canadian whiskey would be done. So just interesting to see them do that. But the combined Mashbill looks pretty good, so I think that could be a real banger, and that might be the one to hunt at Kentucky Bourbon Fest. Now, Jim Beam will probably have the new little book, which is released now, chapter 9. They might have Infinite 2, Booker's Reserve, which is going to be a tequila finish. A tequila finish seems to be the hot topic right now. Everybody's doing it. So I can't say I hate it. I'm not saying I'm just a little bit disappointed. Just because tequila, even though everyone I've tried has been fine, none of them have been great. But we'll see. It could be good. Last year's Reserve was amazing. So here's hoping this one's good too. So now let's talk about these new clubs that are coming out. So one of the first main player ones that I'd heard was Heaven Hill. So Heaven Hill, for $2,000, you became part of their Connoisseur Club. And for that, you got nothing. Well, you got the ability, you didn't get any free bottles, but you were able to purchase bottles that were going to have events, and so pretty much it was like a shoe-in for all the major releases that Heaven Hill were going to do throughout the year. So not, if you value your time and you want to go to these events and stuff like that, probably not bad money spent. And if you've got the spare money, why not? It sounds like a bloody good time. My only concern, because I didn't do it, was they have some events like the last Kentucky Bourbon Fest. They had this really good cigar and whiskey event, which was about $180 to get in. But will they still have that for the general public, or will that be like connoisseurs only, which that could really suck? So we'll see how that pans out. And the new one that just came out is Bardstown. So Bardstown Bourbon, the Reserves. So this one is not bad value, I think. This one is $1,000, $999.99 to be exact, plus tax. But now the stipulation is you have to be a resident of Kentucky, Washington, D.C., North Dakota, New Hampshire, Nebraska. So all the states they can ship to. Now, do you just need a shipping address? Do you need to actually be a resident? Are they going to actually make you prove you're a resident? I don't know. I was very tempted in this one. Basically, 3 times a year, you will get, and this is included in your $1,000, is you'll get one of their distillery reserve bottles. That's the little 375, and you'll get a 750. So for July, you will get Cathedral, which is completely sold out, blew up on secondary, you know, selling for like $550, $600. So if you're a flipper, like I think a lot of flippers might have joined this one, and normal people, don't get me wrong, but just people who want that bottle, like if you're going to spend $600 on that bottle, spend $1,000 and get into the club, and you get the next two. So in September, you'll get the next unreleased, whatever it is, 375 Distillers Reserve, and in December, you'll get the third one. It's pretty good value, and if they're anywhere near as half as good as Cathedral, then it's a bit of a winner right there. And on top of that, so in July, the 750ml bottle is an 8-year-old estate single barrel picked by their master distiller Steve Nally. And this is 8 year of their own stuff, so the oldest stuff they've got. And in September, you would get the Discovery 13, which is a double-barreled one, so that's pretty good. And that was at September, sorry. And then in December, you'll get one of their collaborative series. Undisclosed on what that is. Could be a banger, maybe not, maybe. So that's pretty good value. That's a pretty cool club. I was very, very tempted, but didn't do it. Didn't pull the plug. Did you? Did you guys do it? So comment below if you did. If you didn't, have you joined any of these clubs? What was your thinking behind joining it or not joining it? There's a lot of people that say, it's too expensive, blah 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 blah. But you know, I think for the money, the Bardstown one is just good money. Like I think if you added up, those little 375s were $100, so you get 3 of them. The single barrels are $100, and the discoveries are $160, and the collaboratives can be all the way up to $200. So you're talking $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, you know, $600 or $700 worth of bottles, just MSRP for $1,000, and you get invited to different things and member-only events. So pretty good value, really. So a couple other ones that are pretty interesting to me. There's the Jim Beam Lineage Batch 2. Did not realize they were going to do a Batch 2. I've got a Batch 1 up there signed by Fred No. One of those ones I haven't opened and, you know, may not, but I thought it was going to be a one and done, sort of like Generations. But if they're going to bring out batches of it, it's sort of, you know, doesn't drop the value, but it drops value to me of it. But we'll see. But it's still great. That Lineage is fantastic. One of the best, I think, one of the best things Jim Beam has ever done. Modern stuff. So Batch 2 should be good. There's this Doc Holliday, I'm Your Huckleberry. It's one of those, you know, Doc Holliday, Ben Holliday, Wyatt Earp type things. But this one's finished in a Rosso Sherry. Now, pretty cool label. Probably going down that cigar batchy type feel because it's finished in a Rosso Sherry. Not saying it will, but the label looks cigar-ish with the brown and that, so could be interesting. Yeah, I'm Your Huckleberry. There's also Penelope has a new cigar batch. Speaking of cigar batches, it's released now, so it's out on the market. Keep an eye out for it. I've heard mixed opinions. Some people really like it. Some people say, nah, it's not that good. Worth a go. I don't think it's overly expensive for a cigar. Cigar batches can be more because they go in and out of different barrels and stuff, and there's more processing to it, so they just can be a little bit expensive. But yeah, if you're into cigar batches, I'm quite into cigar batches. I didn't bite on that. I had the opportunity to buy one, but I've got a Tanninger and a fairly old Joseph Magnus I'm sipping on right now, and I don't think they'd hold up to those. So I'll give it a fair shot later on. So hope to see everybody out and about, and the temperature, the weather's getting better, temperature's coming up, so makes camping out and waiting out in line not so bad. So like I say, I'll be at Old Forester on Saturday, maybe Friday. No, hopefully not. Don't get out there too early, you motherfuckers. But yeah, really want to get one of those President's Choice Ryes. It is also going on sale online, so maybe it'd be a big waste of time. Maybe I should go to Four Roses, but screw it. And yeah, and so what are you guys planning this summer? Anything special you're going to be on the hunt for? See you at Kentucky Bourbon Fest. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to go to Bourbon on the Banks yet, only because there's so much stuff going on right now, and I got this stuff called work. I know, right? Work's always busy. So and going back to New Zealand too. going to see Mum for her birthday, so that'll be good fun too. We'll see you next time on Bourbon with Dave and Oscar, who is absolutely tired. I took him for a big walk and he's pooped. Hey buddy, 1.5 miles for a little puppy is it's a lot of miles. And I go straight, but he goes ziggy zaggy ziggy zaggy ziggy. Hey, we have naps, but he'll still be up at 10:30. He'll turn into a fucking puppy crack. So anyway, that's the news from me. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.